So I'm out on the balcony and I'm relaxing in the sun. And I had like a really beautiful moment of deep realization how utterly incapable I am of relaxing. Like, I am amazing at being tense or creating tension in everything through a variety of mental models and programs that are running. But what I realized just being out in the sun, just to give you the sun example, is how the last couple of days it's been sunny in Austin. And oftentimes I would look outside and I would go, the sun is out. I should go out for a little bit, right? I should get on my balcony. And then I would get on the balcony and within like 3 minutes, like this is almost comical. Like if you played the right music, it'd be funny. You'd see me, like I would go out and bring my Kindle and then I would bring another book and then I would bring the music box, then I would bring my phone, then I would go and, make myself a coffee or grab a coffee if I wanted coffee or not, because I'm out in the balcony, the sun is shining.
Mhm.
And then I would take off my shirt to sunbathe a little bit, right? Might as well get tan. And I would read and I would play music. And once in a while, I would like write to people. And in the last couple of days, oftentimes very quickly, it was too hot for me. But then there was something in my mind that was like, well, you've only been out for 5 minutes. Stay for another, at least,
Mhm.
stay at least another 15 minutes. So you have 20 minutes. And I would read. And honestly, right now, I don't enjoy the sixth book of Dune. And I have a couple of other books that I like reading, but it's not the sort of like being sucked into it and like can't stop reading. So I don't have that love for a book right now, but I'm out and I'm like, well, I can't just there's almost a voice in me that's like try to do as many relaxing stack the relaxation, right? And make it and make it productive. Make it productive. So while you're relaxing, you're getting a tan and you're reading a book and you're listening to music and you're drinking a coffee. Look at all the things you've accomplished in those 20 minutes of relaxing. And it was I could sense it, but it not to the degree where it penetrated my full awareness. I could sense that I was not relaxing. Like I would
Mhm.
come out of the balcony and think, well, this didn't help. This did not feel like a break. Maybe I was a bit stressed and I'm on my laptop and I'm doing some work stuff and then I see sunlight. I'm like, oh, let's take a quick break. And then I come
You
back
didn't
from my
bring
break.
presents.
Say it again.
You didn't bring presents. You weren't present.
I wasn't present,
Yeah.
right? I wasn't fully present. Also, the problem was probably also ahead of that moment where my exhaustion or my tiredness or my tenseness led me to ask, how can I disconnect from this? Right. But I wasn't staying with the feeling of why do I feel this right now? Right. Feel my tiredness maybe fully or my tenseness fully before finding a solution. And I realize more and more this is coming in waves. It comes and goes in all these different little nooks and crannies, in all these different like facets of my life, how I turn almost everything into tension. Almost everything. Like I've told you, I train a lot less, right? I have a new framework, 2 to 5 times a week, right?
Yeah.
That framework is creating less tension than what I had before, which was no framework. But still, almost every day, because I don't have enough presence in this area, almost every day, I put in my calendar, this would be a good time to go to Muay Thai, or this would be a good time, oh, let's go to the gym here. And then during the day, every other day, I have to decide to cancel that or to delete it again. It's much more stressful to throw a decision out like I'm gonna go to Muay Thai tomorrow, and then tomorrow I have to decide against that. And
Mhm.
to have to go back and forth almost every day 3 or 4 times. Should I go today to training? I don't know. Let's decide later. Should I go today? Yeah, nah, no, maybe today not. That's all wasted energy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's also tension around it, right? Not as much tension as it used to, because I used to
Yeah.
not even ask myself if I want to or not. I would just go, right? Or force myself to go. Or if I didn't go, I would feel really bad about it. So I've gotten better, but I'm still I'm still not relaxed, fully relaxed about it. And there's so many other areas of my life where I, like, technically, if you looked at me, you would say, here is Stelly engaging in relaxation. He seems pretty relaxed here. But I'm not. I really am not. I'm barely ever relaxed. Ever. I might be like laying on the couch reading a book, but it doesn't mean I'm relaxed because I'm reading, although I don't want to read, right? Like I'm forcing myself to finish the chapter or something, you know? There's all these things. Anyways, today, after a long time of not doing this, I was out in the sun and I was present enough to just enjoy the warmth of the sun. I didn't take off my shirt to tan. I didn't drink my coffee. Like I didn't listen to music. I didn't read. I just sat there, closed eyes, and just chilled. And it felt amazing. Obviously, it was a nice moment, but it was also like just another reminder of I really don't know how to relax well, and I need to be or without presence tension is the most natural destination for me. Even with our podcast, right? With this project, when I don't pay attention for a second, like old habits build up or pop up again, right? Where I, create a YouTube video because we said let's do YouTube videos. I didn't feel like doing a YouTube video, but then I create one. But then that's work. Like that video that I created yesterday, it was work. It was not fun. And same with like the other day, the other night where I was saying like I felt guilty that the last couple of days we didn't get any recording out of our sessions, and then I like forced it. That After that call, I was not more energized than before.
Hmm.
Right? I was exhausted. Even like when I said let's do let's book a hotel and we'll record the album that we've talked about. Let's brainstorm. Like in the moment where I said that, that's the moment to walk over to the hotel and do
Mm.
it, right? Because in that moment I was inspired to rock and roll. Then, when I tried to book the other day, I don't know, I was like busy, I didn't do it. The day after I tried to book and they didn't have it. Then it now
Through a
it
process.
became now it became something I felt stressed about.
Mm.
Pressure. Why am I and like, oh, now am I not doing it? We should do it. I should, and then I'm like, well, but I don't feel it right now. And then there's such a big voice in me that's like, but who the fuck cares if you're feeling it or not? Nobody gives a shit. Just do it. You said you're gonna do it. And like even sometimes I listen to the podcast and I'm inspired by it. Like it's not that I say something brilliant, even or that I think, wow, this is the best piece of content that I've ever done or something like that. But I'm just inspired that I'm doing it just sounds and feels right. And I'm like, I'm listening to myself and I'm just motivated to do shit. Right. I'm like, I wanna do things. I'm charged up. And then sometimes I listen to it and I'm almost embarrassed. And I'm like, this is the worst content I've ever created. And it's not
Oh,
getting better anytime soon. Right?
uh,
It's not getting better. It's not because it is the scribbles in a notebook 3 years prior to eventually somebody writing the book. Like, this is just not going to be bam, 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 super sharp storytelling, unique perspectives, every piece like a golden nugget. It's just not. And I also don't know how long this is going to be the case. Like,
mhm.
I constantly have to relax after I notice the tension that what if this 2 years from now, this is still like this, right? There's this kind of creeping doubt once in a while. Although that's honestly, from all the things that I do, the podcast is the least source of stress and tension. I'm just bringing it up because even this is one. To me, this is like such a fun thing. But even in this, I can find if I don't, if I'm not present, my habits, my personality, my whatever is turning it into stress, pressure,
Yeah,
perform.
it's like the exact opposite of wherever you go, there you are, right?
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean?
But like wherever you go, there you are. For me, is like it's like you bring your present, right? And And then you can be in a busy subway with a smelly person next to you, but you can be in a good state. But then the opposite also, you can do some amazing thing, be in an amazing place with amazing people, but when you're like caught up in your own head, you can still have a bad time, right?
Yeah, I think there is a surrendering to, you know, the little comic strip of two monks, Buddhist monks, like one older one and one clearly like a younger one, and they're sitting there and they're looking at like, you know, nothing. They're sitting at on some, you know, on the ground. They look at nothing, and the younger monk looks over to the older monk with like a questioning look in his eyes, and the older monk, and below the whole thing is like, this is it. Like it's the quotation of the older monk saying to the younger monk, this is it. It's like there's not more enlightening or something more amazing. It's this, right? I think that today I had an interesting thought where I was asking myself why and when, but more why I am so harsh to myself. I'm so judgmental with myself. And I'm very ruthless with it. Even when I pretend I'm giving myself slack, I never do. And this is also true with other people. Most of the time, when I look at a friend like you and you do something that I judge and I don't say anything, I have not, I'm not accepting of you in that moment, right? I'm not loving you. I am just suppressing my truth. Or I'm telling myself this is not important. I'm telling myself, don't say it. But not saying it and not feeling it is not the same thing. I also suppress my feeling, right? I might have like a judgmental feeling towards a friend, and then I'll push the feeling and the thought away as either it doesn't matter what you think, or everybody's fine and they're gonna figure it out, or this is not the right time to say it, or whatever. But I don't accept like the judgmental feeling that I have. I judge the judgmental feeling, right? I'm like, look at you being judgmental, right? Even that I have to judge, and I push that away. But just by pushing it away and not saying it doesn't mean it doesn't exist within me. I'm very, 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 very harsh with people. People don't know because I edit myself so much,
Yeah.
because I hold so much back, but it's still there. And with myself, it's even worse because I cannot not even know, right? I know exactly how I feel about myself. And sometimes I have come to a place where I trick myself, not trick myself, but where I'll say, oh, why didn't you do X, Y, and Z? Or you need to do more, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll say to myself, well, shut the fuck up, just relax and let it go. And then I don't say anything anymore, but I have not let it go. It's the same model, it's the same pattern. I just suppress and push it away. I don't fully love in that moment
But
the way I am.
is it never never, or is it like I have moments where, but the majority of the time I'm kind
I'm
of
sure
doing
I have
this?
moments. I'm sure I have
Yeah.
moments. But the the truth is that I don't accept anything. Not really. Because I know it's all bullshit. But then that's bullshit because I could not possibly. I was thinking today, who would I have to be like 100% proud of myself and at peace with myself? What kind of a life do I live? And the kind of life that I imagine is movie shit. Like you can't.
Hmm. Hmm.
I so there might be people that could live that kind of a life, but I don't think I can. Like it's just I'd be the most interesting person on earth, right? Just like super action hero, like just like the most like every day, every moment, just doing insane things at all times. It's too much. It's a child's version of a superhero. Like this is the way I. If I did all these things, maybe then I would be like, yeah, you're pretty dope. And then I thought, well, what if the most terrifying thing for me, I've been saying this in a different way for many, many years, is if you told me this is it. If you told me, Stelly, everything you know, the wisdom you've accumulated, the skills, your know how, this is it. Now you can keep going in circles and pretend you're learning new things, or you could just accept it. But this is it. There's not much more to it. In who you are, this is it. You have some strengths, you have some weaknesses, you do some things well, some not so well. This is it. There's not more. There's not another, like if I had to like know, like pretend I could sense the percentage of self realization that I've gone through, like in my hope and in my mind, I'm like, the bullshit answer would be to say something like 20%. I don't think that's true. But my hope would be that it's like, I don't know, 40%, right? If I have like another 60%, even though maybe the percentage thing is like flawed as I think about this for the very first time, but like when I think of myself as, I know that I'm already like I've come a long way already, and I'm not going to change so fundamentally that like I'm a totally different human in a couple of years, but in many areas of my life I expect myself to make massive leaps forward in actually almost all areas of my life. Not all, almost in all areas of my life, from my friendships to my relationships to the impact I have in the world, to my ability to tell stories, to the content I create, to the project I'm involved with, to the my spirituality, to my like just in every area I expect massive leaps forward. And then I thought, well, what if that's not realistic? Like what if I had to accept, or somebody would present me with the fact that no, I mean you're sure gonna still learn some things and experience things, but this is it. And it's good enough that you can work with this. To me, there's like a silent panic that is building up inside of me when I think that thought. And then I wondered, maybe it's that silent panic that collaborates with the harsh punisher because if you have that much of a panic to not change, then having a very harsh punisher if you're not perfect, this is kind of a good team. You know, this is the teamwork required to push you forward, right? No matter how much you don't want it. It's you know what's interesting? I almost didn't pay attention to it, but now it pops up again. I had my conversation with Kevin today,
Yeah.
and in one kind of little side note, I told him that he was saying that's like Sylvie, who's the fighter, that she's incredibly hard on herself and very 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 harsh, too harsh. And I totally buy that. I've consumed a ton of content around them. You can see it. And then and he's kind of there. She's like the pessimist, the harsh, the critic, and then he's kind of the cheerleader, the optimist. He's counterbalancing her. But when he said that about her, I said, you know what? That's a thing I connect with Sylvie. Like I'm very similar, and that's something I recognize in her that reflects back on me and part of why I admire her so much. And he stopped and he said, "Oh, yeah, well, I'm really sorry for you because." But he said he didn't say it, in a joking way. He said it. You could actually almost feel like the love and pain in his heart for it, like the empathy for it. And he was like, "Because it's very harsh to be this way. It's very very difficult on you to be this way. Right? Be so relentless with yourself." And carry such a burden and such a pressure. And today, like I've always been saying I'm very self-critical, but again, I've been saying it like I like to wear black t-shirts. I don't know. It's just a thing. It's like my name or birth date. It's a fact about me. I've said it many times. It's a belief I have, but I don't say it with any particular feeling towards it. Today, I had a moment where I was wondering, where I'd felt how harsh I'd been with myself, and I was wondering why the fuck am I this hard? Still, like, can't I just chill a little bit? And even as I was thinking that, I knew instantly I was no. The funny thing is, no, I can't. I was like, can't I just give myself, like I was talking to that side of me that was critical and harsh, and I was like, well, can't you just like, can I get a break? And it was like, no, you can't. But can't not just sometimes? And it was like, no. We chose no, and so that's the answer. And I was like, fuck, I'm too hard. Why am I so fucking hard? This is too much.